Hi, and welcome everyone back to another episode of Gaming with Jason. This is part two. If you look in the description, what I decided to do was I'm going to upload them backwards. That way I can give you the link to the next one. Anyways, so if you're seeing this in its entirety and you started with part one, this is part two. And I am fixing to take one of his last capital cities. Now, I use these guys here. I am using my helicopters. The helicopters are important, and I'll tell you why. Because he had tank destroyers last night, and those tank destroyers can be pretty damn lethal. Um, it just they're lethal, and uh, airborne. Let's see. So airborne here. So I've got a level 4 airborne. Now, if I'm attacking, I can do four damage to armor. So I mean, these guys could do some damage to armor. They can also do a lot of damage. But in the defense, if they're in a defensive stance, man, the stats just really don't stack up. And I will tell you that is what I'm finding to be the one weakness really with this is the transitioning of troops. You've kind of got to keep a two-pronged strategy when you're doing this. This is why I said that it's got to be more for advanced players, because as an advanced player, you know how to be able to run two gambits at once, and you've got experience doing it, so on and so forth. Now, if you're new and you want to learn this game and you want to just kind of learn trial by fire, this is probably going to be the one where you have to sit there and start 20 or 30 games before you finally lock down how to use this. And by then, somebody's already countered it, and you've had to refigure out your strategy. And I will say is that you need to have your infantry on the front line. You shouldn't need to have anything more than level 4 infantry, because you're not using them for attack. You're using them for defense purposes only. Your sword is your airborne, and your shield is your infantry. And then whatever you can airlift in with them. And because you have to keep a really tight airbase network, I mean, look at the airbase network that I mean, that's just on that side. Now, if I put another airbase here, the more you connect the air bases, I could actually cover this whole area. And I've seen it a couple of times where I've been able to do it. But you really got to get good at creating an airbase network. And if you're going to do that, then that's going to cost a lot of extra resources. And you're going to have to decide. And usually, what I would do is resources that I'm short on, because here's the thing: airports or air bases help out with your economy. And I will show you here. So let's look at an airbase. Okay. So an airbase is going to give you a level 2, it gives you 10% resource production increase. So not only are you getting it from your arms industry, but you also get it from your airbase. And so that's your incentive to build air bases, is you can use it as a way to kind of help drive up your economy and keep things going, because you're going to be spending a lot of resources. Now, I recommend doing it in the cities, just because you're doing it for resources. But you could do it another way too if you'd like to. Um, but again, you want to be able to keep all of these, all of your units. You need to be able to separate them. And to let me show you my technology and kind of what I've got going. So as you see, I still haven't even gotten up here. I'm finally starting to go to missiles because I need them for defense, especially on my planes. Just in case I ever get into a pickle and I need to have a lot of firepower, and it's going to take me a minute to get people back there. Okay, but I just researched the tank destroyer, because I'm like, man, I need this thing. It's gonna kick my butt. But I've made sure that I've already got airlift here, um, and I'm also working on getting this up to airlift. You know what? I need to cancel this. I want missiles, but I don't need it as much as I need to be able to airlift this. Okay, that's my priority. My priority is to get everything to get airlifted. And now in this, I'm also building my helos so that I don't have to go build strikers. And I will talk more about the helo strategy to the airborne strategy in part 3. So check the link in the description, and I will see you in part 3.